Hola, soy la profesora Clark. Today we're going to talk a little bit about grammar, subject pronouns in Spanish, or los pronombres del sujeto. Generally speaking, a pronoun takes the place of one or more nouns to avoid redundancy or repetition. A pronoun can also function as a subject or an object. For the purposes of this lesson, we're going to talk about subject pronouns. Subject pronouns identify the person who is doing an action. They clarify the person who's doing an action. They agree with the verb that it accompanies. And certain subject pronouns can determine gender. In this next box, we can see that there are singular subject pronouns, and below that we can see that there are plural subject pronouns. Here are a few things to keep in mind as far as Spanish and subject pronouns. The list of Spanish subject pronouns are as follows. We have yo, tú, usted, él, ella. In this column, we see the English counterparts. Yo means I. Tú would indicate you in an informal setting. Usted would indicate you in a formal setting. Él means he, and ella means she. A few things to keep in mind. Tú, as in you, familiar, informal. And it is singular. It is used with family and friends. It can be used with pets, even though they may not respond to you. And it can be used with anyone who you would treat with familiarity. On the flip side, we have usted. Usted is used with anyone you would treat with respect. Using usted demonstrates respect linguistically, and we don't really have a true representation of that in English. And just remember that you see this you, that is actually you. It means you, formal, singular. Moving along, we have the plural subject pronouns. In Spanish, we have nosotros and nosotras, which means we. We have vosotros and vosotras, which we don't have a true representation of that in English, but it means you all informal, or what I like to call y'all. We also have ustedes, which means you all formally. And then we have ellos, which means they, and ellas, which also means they. The plural subject pronouns are a little more involved. If we look at the singular subject pronouns, we see that gender only enters in with él and ella. Once we head to the plural subject pronouns, we can have gender entering in our first person, nosotros or nosotras. Nosotros would indicate either we, the group of males, or a mixed group, but nosotras would just indicate a group of we, the girls, or a feminine group. Vosotros is the same thing. Vosotros can indicate you all or y'all, masculine or mixed group, and vosotras can mean you all or y'all, just a feminine group. Once we head to ustedes, there is no gender associated with ustedes. But then, to ellos and ellas, we have the same instance that we have with nosotros and vosotros. Ellos can indicate either males or a mixed group, and ellas simply indicates they, the females. As far as the formal and informal, we have vosotros, which means you all, familiar, y'all. And again, to repeat, it's used with family and friends, pets, anyone group who you would treat with familiarity, and this is a form that is primarily used in Peninsular Spain. If you've taken Spanish before, you may not be familiar with vosotros. You may have even been told that it is not taught. And that could not be further from the truth. It is taught, and it's widely used in Spain and Europe. Usted es, ustedes, you all, formal, plural, is used with any one group that you would treat with respect. Again, using ustedes demonstrates respect linguistically, and it counts for both formal and informal groups in the Americas. So instead of using vosotros in Latin America, you would use ustedes. Two last points. What about it? Well, in English we use it a lot, but in Spanish we tend to just use the proper noun or the actual noun that refers to the item that we are mentioning. In order to identify the object that is assigned, we're just going to mention the noun by name. So we're not going to be using it a whole lot in Spanish the way we use it in English anyway. And to conclude, we'll look at the uses of the subject pronouns. Why do we use them? We use them to deliberately underscore a subject. Ella es profesora, as opposed to él es profesor or usted es profesora. We can use it for emphasis. Yo estoy bien. We can also use it to clarify with similar verb forms. Usted es de Colombia y ella es de Perú. And we can also use it to demonstrate respect linguistically. ¿Cómo está usted? Please keep this in mind when you are practicing Spanish in the simple conversation in class or with your colleagues, coworkers, or friends who are Spanish speakers. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Gracias and ciao.